on, if you could. Thanks, David. If you could, when you come on, in the name, you can change your name, rename yourself. If you could put your club name on there, like Randy has the Incaster AM and Sherry's put Grand Island in. If you have the ability to get your name changed so we know what club you're from, that'd be greatly appreciated. On the iPhone, I'm not sure how it works exactly. If it's the same setup as we have here on a PC, you can just touch the 3 dots and allows you to rename yourself. Got a little warm out there today. Wasn't used to it. Wearing a suit out in this 85-degree temperatures today. It's like, oh my goodness.
It was warm.
I love it.
Long overdue.
Yeah, I'd rather have hot than cold.
You might be living in the wrong country, David.
Yeah.
We got Joanne from Lincoln. Vicky, where are you from?
I'm from Lockport, New York.
Oh, there you go. You can-
Okay, it's after 7 o'clock. We might as well kick this thing off.
Right. Oops. Do that. All right. Well, if people join in as we go along, that'll be fine. In the meantime, we will stick to a schedule so we can get out and then enjoy the rest of this lovely evening here. So welcome everybody to Rotary 101, the Rotary Club and the world beyond your club. So good afternoon or evening, depending on where you're at, and welcome to the District 709. Well, this was part of the District Leadership Training Conference, but this is now a Rotary 101 Web Talk. And my name is Scott Marcin. I am a member of the Amherst South Rotary Club, and I am currently the District Governor nominee for a few more weeks. And I'm also the Assistant Governor for Area 11 for a few more weeks, and served as PETS Chairman for the last couple of years. But today I'm going to be playing the role of instructor for Rotary 101. Don't worry, you will be tested. And as we try to learn more about Rotary, but not just from the perspective of your club, but the entire community service organization. In other words, let's take a deep dive into Rotary. But before we begin, let me introduce, I have a co-presenter tonight, which is really nice, David Alexander. David is currently the District Governor nominee designate, meaning he will follow me as District Governor. So 2 ladies followed by 2 men. David, want to introduce yourself? Tell them where you're from.
Sure, I'm from the Rotary Club of Welland, and that is in the Niagara area on the Canadian side. And I was president a couple of years ago. I'm the current AG in the area, and I'm really looking forward to the leadership role across the district. I'm also an RLI trainer, and I hope that if you have an opportunity to take Rotary Leadership Institute, that you would consider that as well.
Let's see if I can get this thing going properly here. Let's give it a shot here. Now, I'm not as good as Dave Barry with the slides, but we'll give it a shot. So here we go. Where do we want to go? So at the end of this session, you should feel inspired and proud to be a Rotarian. You should understand the structure of Rotary organization. You should know a few important milestones in the history of Rotary. You should be able to reflect on the key values of Rotary and know a little bit about the 5 areas of service, avenues of service, the Rotary Foundation, public image and branding, youth services, international programs and events. And then at the end of the session, you just have the rest of your life. Your Rotary life, that is. So little quiz here. By a show of hands, who has been in Rotary less than 1 year? And Vicky, you're the only one, Vicky, less than a year? Okay. We got some, who's 1 to 3 years? So by a show of hands, anybody? And we got Ursula from Amherst Rotary. Ursula, I was at your meeting last week. Did I miss you? Were you there?
Oh, I was there.
Oh, I was there too. All right. In Rotary, 3 to 10 years. That's a seasoned veteran. That's Sherry. She's a seasoned veteran. Anybody more than 10 years? That'd be me. And Randy. David, how long you been a Rotarian?
Since 2008. So I guess what, 14 years?
Okay. And let's have a little, tell me exactly how many members are in your club. Who's got the small club, less than 15? Who's got less than 15? Anybody in a small club, or are we all in pretty good sized clubs here? Who's in the 15 to 25 bracket? Like we are at Amherst South. Who knows? Does anybody know? Who's in a 26 to 40 bracket?
That's us. Yeah.
That's you guys, okay. And more than 40? Who got more than 40? Oh, Lockport's got the big club up there. All right. You guys are attracting members. So little Rotary knowledge test here. Who knows little or very little about Rotary at this point in time? Who's just so new they don't know much about it? Everybody who knows a little bit about Rotary. Who's got a Vicky, you know a little bit? Who's got some moderate, generally familiar with the topics? Randy, that's you. Anybody else? Okay. And who thinks they're an expert on Rotary? Who thinks they know it all? I'm not even raised my hand on that one, Sherry. So there's a lot to know. I feel like I'm still learning here. We got a whole bunch of different people. So let me do a little video here for you. Let's see if this you can play. I can hear this, okay.
Possibilities are all around us. Everywhere we look, we see opportunity. We see potential in unexpected places. And when we share our knowledge, vision, and connections, we turn great ideas into action. In communities all around the world that we call home. Like transforming an old bus to feed hungry children, or providing life-saving equipment to those who need it most. From fighting disease to rebuilding schools, together, we can make real change happen. We're Rotary. We are people of action. Get involved today at Rotary.org.
We can see there's a lot of ways to get involved in Rotary, not just chicken dinners and whatnot. So, David, you want to take over a little bit from here? Oh,
Sure.
yeah.
And just to let you know that there's lots of little videos out there too. It's always good to play a few of those videos at a club meeting. Scott, I think you might need to advance the slides for me.
Okay, let me do that. There we go. Sorry.
Great. So we're going to look at the structure of Rotary, and you can think of Rotary as a kind of an inverted pyramid, where at the surface, at the top there, is the Rotarians, the individual Rotarians and Rotary clubs. That's the strength of Rotary. So there's 1.2 million Rotarians across the world, 35,000 clubs. And then I'm going to sneeze, sorry. Oh. Maybe not. Okay. And then the clubs and the Rotarians are supported by Rotary districts, and then there's a number of districts that are in a zone structure, and then there's RI, which supports the whole organization. And you've got the Rotary Foundation, which is a consistent theme throughout. So here we are in our zone. If you look at the little window right in the bottom middle, you can see our Rotary district and our current Rotary International Director for Zone 28 and Zone 32. Its combined area is Val Wafer. And then here in our district, we have 72 clubs, around 2,000 Rotarians. We've got 16 assistant governors and AGs. There's a couple of new wrinkles with the AGs because we've got a couple of E-clubs and some innovative clubs. And we're going to have some AGs tasked to that. We actually have on either side of the border, we have a Rotarian who is a Rotaractor tasked to supporting Rotaract clubs.
Sorry.
It's okay. And then you've got a number of different parts of the organization leading committees, and then you've got the district governor and what we call the district governor chain. So that's Lisa Bishop after Ann Birmingham, then Scott, then myself, and then later on this year we'll start to look at finding the person who's going to come after me. So on the district site, there is a list of all of the clubs and their locations, and each of these little pins signifies what time of day those Rotary clubs meet. So, for example, the brown pins are clubs that meet at lunch hour, and you've got breakfast clubs, and I believe those are in yellow. And the red and blue are evening meetings. So I mentioned our E-clubs, and they meet online. And so there are members in the E-clubs who are not resident of our district, upstate New York and southeastern Ontario. And like any Rotary club, they need to have a minimum of 20 members as required. But at this time, the two E-clubs, they are struggling because many clubs have been meeting online, and there's hybrid meetings. And so that's why we've asked somebody to come on board to specifically work on developing the E-clubs. It's always a good opportunity to go and meet a bunch of Rotarians online. And there's E-clubs all over the world too. And we have satellite clubs. We just had a satellite club founded in Niagara Falls, Canada. They were spun off of the Rotary Club of Niagara Falls Sunrise. So typically a satellite club has a parent club, and these are full Rotarians. And you're welcome to go out to those meetings as well. See here that there's the Rotary Satellite Club of Kenmore, the Tonawondas, or the Eastside Buffalo Satellite Club from Buffalo Sunrise. Any questions about satellite clubs at all? Okay, this is one way to ease the development of new clubs, because sometimes members, they want to be a participant in that community, but let's say they can't meet for a breakfast meeting. So they'll have a meeting at a different time of day. Next slide, please. So here's a list of all the services that the district supports to the clubs. So we have district conference. So we've got club training assembly. So these are the two main key events, one in the fall, one in the spring every year. This helps club executives and people looking to lead, provide leadership to their clubs. And there's training there and networking. And we're getting back to face-to-face opportunities for this, I would hope, this fall. As Scott mentioned at the start, he has been chairing PETS, which is President-elect Training. So if you aspire to become the president of your club, there is group training with all the other presidents in our district under the PETS logo, and that's opportunity. That's about once a month, and providing you with lots of information as you work towards your presidential year. As I mentioned, there's Rotary Leadership Institute, and that happens a couple of times a year. It's lately it's been on a Wednesday night, and the next intake is going to be in September. So, and it takes 3 months to complete that training. So it's every Wednesday for 12 weeks. The district also coordinates youth exchange, RILA, and Slapshot. So every club has opportunity to find a local youth representative for these initiatives, but that it requires some degree of district coordination to develop and bring these events and do the debrief, etc. It also brings out the skills and talents across the district to support our youth programs. We also have a district website, and there's been a lot of opportunity over the last couple of years whereby clubs have re-skinned their websites, and that was coordinated through a district initiative. We have a monthly district newsletter. It's an e-newsletter, so it's an opportunity for you to read through that to find out some happenings, not only at the club level, but district and beyond the district as well. So just bits and pieces. There's district grants, but also grants through the foundation, and so the district coordinates grant qualification training. That happens every year, and we try and encourage at least 2 people from every club to complete the grant qualification training. And then the district has, as part of some of the district grants, there's coordination and oversight. There's a whole international service committee to look at those kinds of projects. And also, it's not just to look at managing those projects, it's really up to the club, but it really is to support and guide this international service projects across the district level, and then to hear opportunities and network with other Rotary colleagues across the district. We have an initiative that happens, pre-pandemic. It was happening on a regular basis. It's called Vocational Training Teams. So that's where an inbound group of Rotarians from another zone or district would come here to learn about something that we perhaps specialize in. So for example, a couple of years ago, we provided a couple of weeks of opportunities for some people from South America on waste management training. So there were opportunities to look at how we do things here. And then we also, in reverse, sent a group of Rotarians and other local skilled people to learn about best practices in the other country. There are a number of friendship exchanges. We also facilitate opportunities for club visioning. So if your club has a strategic plan, by and large, it's been supported through the skills at the district level to help guide your club through creating a strategic plan. We've been really working hard at coordinating social media and public image. There's a whole committee there. So if you, or even if people are not Rotarians, they're welcome to come on board and help out with some social media. And then there's AG support too. So the Assistant Governor Network is there to support the presidents and their clubs during that president's year, and to make sure that the strategic plan is going smoothly and informing the president of activities that they should be mentioning to their members coming up. So that's a bit about the district. There's a few other things that we do at the district level, but it's all in support of club activities. So this is the district website, rotary7090.org. There's the district contact list that's in the red circle in the bottom. And so if you want to contact any particular committee chair or AG or whoever is active at the district level, you're welcome to click on that and do some networking. So here's the district org chart. And we have, this is for the year 2021, but you can see that on that particular tab there, you can click over to the next year. It's 2021-22, and the 22-23 is being filled in. So you can see who's been active at the district level currently and in the past and coming up. So a bit about Rotary's history in a nutshell. So there are 4 key events. So what's so special about 1905? Anybody? So 1905 was the year that Rotary was founded by Paul Harris and 3 of his colleagues. They got together for lunch and formed a Rotary Club in Chicago. Their first project was putting a public toilet in. And they were concerned about people not having access to a public bathroom. So they put a public toilet in as their first project in Chicago, Illinois. So they came up with the word Rotary. And then by 1910, 5 cities in the US had Rotary clubs. And then it became international in 1912 with clubs in Winnipeg and in Dublin.
A little quiz, Dave. Did anybody know how the Rotary symbol came about and what it stood for?
It stood for that they rotated between their offices for their meetings.
Sherry, you've been cheating. Knock it off. She's correct. That's right. They go from place to place each week for a different meeting location. So that's how the symbol was ultimately adopted. So
yeah, I probably shouldn't be answering these. We'll leave it to the newer.
So in 1917, Art Clump suggested a foundation. He's a member in Cleveland, and they started with a donation of $26.50, and it officially became the Rotary Foundation in 1928. Currently, the foundation has over $1 billion in assets. And since its founding, it has spent over $4 billion on projects and grants over its history. So this is where a lot of the resources come from that allows us to do our international and project work.
you get down to see the Cleveland Browns play football. There's a nice little statue in honor of Arch Clump right down by the Browns Stadium. Just
Oh, that's interesting.
a little side note there.
All right, and then in 1979. 1979 was a key year in Rotary where we launched the polio eradication effort in the Philippines. That's when the initial germ of the idea was launched, and then by 1985, Polio Plus was launched. And so this has been a major international theme in Rotary for the last several decades. And then in 1987 was a very key year in Rotary, because that's the year that women were allowed and encouraged to join Rotary. And so you see a photograph of Sylvia Whitlock, who was the first female Rotary Club president. So our key values.
One more year on there.
Oh yeah, that's this year, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's so good to have a Rotarian, a female Rotarian as president of our entire organization. I am absolutely delighted. Scott and I, others in the across the district. it's just going to be so great. And Jennifer Jones is actually going to be in the area in Toronto in a few weeks. And so there's opportunities to go up there and meet her. She's doing a bit of a cross Canada tour, and we're coordinating some events. So some more information about that is going to be coming out over the next week or two.
By the way, for those who don't know, it took a Supreme Court case to get Rotary to admit women. So it really kind of fascinating times and how fast and how far they've come in a short period of time. So great times for Rotary.
And why it took so long.
Yeah, it's about time. So here's a slide about our key values, and but we have our motto, especially in that we live up to in our district, is service above self, and that these are all the key values that Rotarians share. And then the next slide is our mission statement. So together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities and in ourselves. And the other thing that we always aspire to is the four-way test. And it doesn't actually just stop and start and start and stop when you're at a Rotary meeting. It's something that you can apply to your daily life and in your business. So it's fundamental that this is part of the activities of our work as Rotarians. So is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Do most people recite this at their club meetings? Just curious. Yes, no. Randy, what do you guys do?
No, we don't. We have a banner at the front of the room, but we don't recite it.
Sherry, you guys do or don't? Yes?
Usually we do unless the meeting runs long.
Okay.
But it was interesting that Ben McPherson was saying that they don't.
And Vicky, what about you guys in Lockport?
Every single week. It's the
Nice.
last thing we do before we leave.
Joanne, you
Before we
guys down in
end.
Lincoln, you do that? Yes. And Diane, I know we did.
We did,
Grand-
and we almost always do. I think Ben said that he has lunch meetings and they go only 50 minutes. So it's strictly business. Rushing through it as a time thing, but we try to do it. Yeah, it's important.
Super.
We all live our lives that way. So it's a good way to end a meeting.
Excellent.
One of the workshops that we've done at our club is that we had a speaker who canceled at the last minute. And so what we did was we broke up into 4 groups. We talked about each of the 4 parts of the four-way test. And we had a discussion and then a report back in. It was really worthwhile just to delve a little deeper into the meaning of the four-way test. So in the Rotary Foundation across Rotary, there are and this is more apparent at Rotary International when you start looking through the materials, is that there are now 7 areas of focus that projects and activities that take up Rotarians' time and working on different projects that make a difference in people's lives across the following 7 areas. So peace and conflict prevention and resolution, disease prevention and treatment, water and sanitation, maternal and child health, basic education and literacy, economic community and community development. And then the latest one is supporting the environment. So part of the latest activities in Rotary is a commitment to DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion. So it works across a number of different aspects of our lives, in our communities, across our club and in our organization. And so we're really trying to take it to heart, the diversity, equity, and inclusion in our work. And so we strive to build that world where we can create that lasting change. So we include that, we desire to include people of all backgrounds, all ages, ethnicity, race, color, abilities, religion, socioeconomic status, culture, sex, sexual orientation, and gender identity. So this is kind of a must-do for our organization, given the tensions and the stresses in the world today. A few more things. We share a passion for commitment to enhancing communities and improving lives across the world. We are non-political and non-religious and open to all people, regardless of race, color. Oh, excuse me. So sorry about that. As I mentioned, the DEI ethic, and then these are the commitments we asked across the 35,000 clubs across the 220 countries and the 1.2 million members. So Scott, I'm going to hand it back to you for the breakout session.
Let's, we have a small group here, David, so why don't we just stick together on this one?
Okay.
So I'm gonna go a little bit around the room here and get a little idea about what we discussed so far and some of the key takeaways that people are getting from our presentation so far. So Diane, Gary, I'm coming to you first. Just give me one thing you've learned tonight that has surprised you a little bit, or one key takeaway that you have from what we've been presenting here.
Well, there's lots of overviews that are kind of coming together in my head now that I'm hearing you say it. But the notes I took, the first thing I put down is, I did not know there was a Rotary group satellite on the east side of Buffalo. Is that what you said?
Yeah, brand new club, 8 new members, part of the Buffalo Sunrise Rotary Club. And they're filling a little bit of a gap on the east side, and it's gonna be a great group of people. I was there for the chartering ceremony, and a lot of excitement building around them.
I think just with everything that's happening in Buffalo and the east side, and feeling like what can we do to help, that's interesting, and something I'll probably be reaching out to you about to see how we can connect or what we can do as Rotary.
We are. I'm glad you mentioned it, Diane, because we are going to try to organize a Rotary Day of Service on the east side, and see if we can do some. See if we can make some positive change in our community and make sure they know that they are part of our community. So great.
Okay, I'd love to help you do that sooner rather than later. So put me on your list.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Sherry, what about you? Same Grand Island Club. Anything you've picked up on here from what we've been talking about today?
Well, I'm going to go after what Diane was saying, because we helped settle an Afghan family on the east side of Buffalo.
Yeah.
And the gal that I was on my cruise with works as a volunteer for the Red Cross, and they've been providing food to that community since their TOPS has shut down and was supposed to open in 2 weeks, and it's not going to. So yes, there's lots of need in that community that I think Rotary clubs in the district can come together and help on. But the note I took, since a lot of this is not new to me, was to ask you about that in-person training, because I'm putting the budget together for next year.
It depends on what training we're talking about, Sherry.
We can take it offline. That was my note. I'm going to send you an email.
Gotcha. Randy, what about you? Anything come to your mind here that key point for you?
Well, I've been in Rotary for 37 years. And one of the reasons that I've stayed with Rotary is because of the organization of Rotary. It's a really solid organization from the club right down to RI. And I think that's why Rotary is so effective as well as successful in their endeavors, because of the organization. There's other organizations out there that don't have the same structure or a similar structure that makes it work. So that's, I think, a really key part of the organization is the structure.
Super. Vicki, learning anything from tonight's presentation that as a key takeaway for you?
Well, one of the key takeaways was that it's very recent that women were allowed to join. I think that's fantastic. And I like the whole international aspect. I find the polio, International Polio Initiative very interesting as well. And I like seeing the map that showed all the different pins too, where all the different clubs are. I really enjoyed seeing that map. And then how you had it color coded for breakfast and lunch, and that was really neat.
Well, you're always welcome to visit another club for their meeting. So just remember that. So
Yes, no, I have to do that as part of my new member. I have to go visit another club. So
super.
I'll be doing that shortly.
Joanne, what about you?
You can hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. Yep.
Okay, good. I just want to say hi to Randy.
Hi, Joanne. Nice to see you. I miss you.
Nice to see you. Yes, I miss you guys too. I think my takeaway was, one, I didn't realize how much funds RI had. I had no idea that it was that successful. And I guess to comment on that, where Randy was saying, it shows how well Rotary does work, that we're still here from 1905, and we still have a good size of numbers out there that are involved with Rotary. And the other thing that I noticed was just with RI, some of the training, like I didn't realize there was like an actual grant training available, because if you've never written grants, they seem to be a little bit scary when you don't really know what they are. So I think I'm going to try to jump on something like that just to get a little bit more knowledge base. But I do find with the way that the websites are and the leadership that's available, and maybe because of COVID, everything has gotten better online as well. But I think that really gets more people the ability to have this training as opposed to the in-person. Mind you, I'm very much looking forward to in-person training again. Online's great, but it's so much nicer when you can actually be one-on-one with people. So I think that's pretty much it.
We agree. A little bit of Rotary fellowship in person is always a good thing. So Sheila down in Dunkirk, Fredonia, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you. Well, I've only been in Rotary for about 2 years, I guess. Maybe more, maybe less. Everything with the pandemic has made my brain a little foggy. The things I was interested in learning, some things I'd heard before. I didn't really know about the e-clubs and the kind of details about the satellite clubs. So that was very interesting to me. Then a few things were sort of thought-provoking to me. One was that faith was one of the words in the descriptors, but so that was thought-provoking to me, because I was thinking, well, it's non-religious, but faith is up there, so not good or bad. It just got me thinking. And then the other thing is the 7
areas of focus.
Thank you. And the peace and conflict resolutions. That got me down a path thinking about how it's nonpartisan, and for sure that's a key to the strength and longevity of Rotary, but it also, in light of the recent shootings, just very troubled by, I'm an attorney, and I firmly believe the gun laws in our country are not what the founders intended when they wrote the Constitution. And to me, it should be a nonpartisan issue, that people can't walk around with weapons whose only purpose is to kill large amounts of people. So I'm just thinking about that, and about Rotary's place and what's appropriate and what's not appropriate, but how at this point in history, it seems to me that to stay silent on such issues is complicit.
I think that Rotary has a great opportunity to fill a void in our society, to really push peace as an initiative in our country, and maybe get ourselves in the middle of these issues and make a little bit of a difference. But Sheila, I'm with you. As a former practicing attorney, my Federalist book doesn't seem to expound upon the Second Amendment as freely as some other people might think it does. So fascinating topic for a different day. So very good. Very good. All right, well, thank you everybody for participating in that little go around there with this. And we'll get to the second half of our presentation, or the denouement, I guess, really, here at this point. So, all right, let's see here. Okay, Dave, are you back on here?
Yep.
All
Want
right.
me to keep going, or do you want to take it from
No.
here?
Take it home. Take it home. You got it.
Okay. So there's some interesting wrinkles in terms of the structure. So we've covered the 5 avenues of service, the foundation. There's public image and branding, youth service, international programs and events. So those, and then we're going to talk about knowing where to find more information when it's needed. So your club, you've got fun meetings. Fun is almost like the 5th part of the 4-way test. Socializing, fellowship, making new friends. And what I've found is that people, when they first join Rotary, especially if they're young, they're joining because they want to network and form their network. But as you get have more opportunity to work with people in the club, you become friends, and you start to hang out outside of Rotary and keep on deepening the bonds of what you're doing in service to your community. There's 2 key aspects of club work: the work you do in your community, but also that many clubs have an international service arm where they spearhead or partner with other clubs on some activities. And then there's always interesting speakers and educational programs, meeting over meeting. So the 5 areas of service. So club service, so making clubs strong; vocational service, which looks at people's expertise; community service, which is engaging with our folks in our neighborhoods and serving the public interest; the international aspect of what we do, so that's the convening power that we have as an organization in promoting peace, understanding those 7 areas of focus as well. And then youth service, and being able to get young leaders, those future Rotarians, and those folks are going to be the pillars of strength in our community, and look for development opportunities for them. So underneath that iceberg, you're looking at many clubs have a youth exchange program and are known for that. There's conferences and conventions to go to. So right now, the Rotary International Convention is on in Houston, and you're welcome to go and check that out, because there's opportunities for seminars, etc. I know last year and the year before it was free. I don't know what the online component is this year in terms of depth, but I would encourage you just to go check it out. You can certainly have a look at the program and see the range of types of meetings and kinds of clubs within our organization that meet based on themes. We'll get to that in a little bit. As I mentioned, the Rotary Leadership Institute. There's always opportunities at the district. So if you're inclined to look beyond your club, there are committees that would welcome your skills and talents at the district level. So that would be in support of all clubs in our district. I've mentioned vocational training teams. There's opportunities to even suggest the kinds of vocational training teams that we could do. There's friendship exchanges. There's something called the Rotarian Action Groups and Fellowships. So we'll get into these a little bit later, But in a nutshell, these are Rotarians who are of like mind across the planet. So I myself am a member of the Environment Sustainability Rotary Action Group. So we have seminars and speakers, there's projects and work on helping support this new 7th area of focus. And there's many, many other fellowships, Rotary Action Groups. We'll get into that, the details about that in a bit. So Scott, do you want to talk about the foundation? We'll do a little video here.
Yep, we'll just kick it off with a little video, David.
Okay. So I don't know if Scott's going to go or me, but
Go ahead, David. It's fine.
So the way that many foundations are scored is looking at how much of their funds are spent on programs versus operations. And so we're at 92% in terms of our ability to get dollars out into the field. And the organization Charity Navigator gives us the top level, the 4-star in the work of the Rotary Foundation. So many clubs are every Rotarian every year, so they require that as part of your membership, you give dollars to support the foundation. But some clubs also have a foundation chair who would talk about individually with members about the annual fund, Polio Plus, and the endowment fund. So these are funds that come in, they're invested for 3 years, and then half of that money is returned back to the district for as what are called district designated funds. And those are used to invest in projects internationally, local community projects. There's polio eradication initiatives. We support something called the Peace Centers. And so these are kind of scholarship, master's degree level initiatives. And again, if you're curious about the peace initiatives, we can sponsor young scholars to go and be part of the Peace Center initiative, paying for them to go essentially do a master's degree abroad. There's global grant scholars, and then of course disaster response as it arises. Some activity, for example, in Canada, when we spend money on a project, our federal government will match at one point along the way to double the dollars that are going into various projects. So $12,000 quickly can flip over a number of times and turn into $96,000. So here's a website called myrotary.org, and if you haven't signed up for your login and join, I would encourage you to do so. And you can make a donation, but also you can find out a bit more about what's happening in this massive organization that we have around the world, and link up with a number of people who are of like mind on certain projects. There's video, a couple, those two videos that we've seen tonight, they're on here, plus many other videos. There's other social media initiatives and opportunities. There's depth about the Rotary Foundation, and those looking at developing fellowships and the Rotary action groups as well. So this really helps fill your membership in beyond your club level, beyond the district level. So if you haven't joined myrotary.org, I would encourage you to put that on your to-do list and get that done over the next day or two. So there's the Public Image Center. So one of the things is trying to keep the Rotary communications really direct, clean, etc. So there's opportunities if you are looking at developing some brochures, pamphlets, etc. There's the Rotary Brand Center and to help us with our public image.
If you haven't familiarized yourselves with our own district PI committee, Dave Schultz leads that, and they do fabulous work. They do things like website refreshing. They will help you put together things for your own club for promoting it and give you some great ideas. So feel free to make sure you find them on our own district website.
So here's the brand center as part of that. So the whole range of media that you and your club would need to compose materials to make your project successful and just jump out in terms of what about Rotary image. I don't want to overlook the importance of the Learning Center. So a lot of work has gone into this development over the last couple of years, and just book once you've signed up for your myrotary.org account, you can look at exploring the Learning Center, and there's manuals and resources, but also bullet points of information. So it just helps deepen your experience as a Rotarian. So I would encourage you to book a time or two over the next week or two to go and explore the Learning Center. So you might have a club training assembly, which could be an annual or a semi-annual event. That would be an opportunity for you to help share the work that your club is doing with each other, but then look for opportunities to share that work with neighboring clubs and district. We have a district conference usually in October in the fall. This is being planned. We just had the club training assembly as at the district level just a few weeks ago. Many of those sessions were recorded, and I would encourage you to look at the district site and review some of those sessions if you wish. As I noted at the start of our session tonight, the Rotary Leadership Institute runs a couple times a year. The next intake will be in September. This is essentially what we're doing tonight, but a deeper dive into all aspects of your Rotary world. President-elect training seminar happens late in the fall and runs through the winter and spring. So that's helps people who are becoming president of their club get all their plan together and follow in the footsteps of the current president. There have been a number of international conventions in a couple of years. The international convention is going to be in Calgary. And currently it's going to be in Houston, then it goes overseas for a couple of years, then it will come back to Calgary. I think it goes Australia, and then Indonesia, and then Calgary. On the district webpage, right in the homepage, there's district events. So sometimes the club meetings and other meetings are there, but training events and seminars that you're welcome to join. So once a month, you can check out the district website just for events to see what training is coming up or opportunities for meetings and networking. And I've encouraged you to look at the My Rotary website, and you can join similarly at the Rotary7090.org district website. Here is the range of those global clubs in Rotary. This is also a really good source for speakers too. So you see there on the left-hand side, almost halfway down, is the Rotary Beer Fellowship. We had a speaker who was really entertaining in the early days of COVID, talking about beer. If you have a hobby, it's likely that you can find a group of Rotarians who are just as passionate about that hobby all the way around the world. And some of these fellowships have events. They meet. They'll have an annual meeting at the International Convention, but they'll also have different events throughout the year. And of course, Zoom. It's really been taken off in terms of being able to meet. So I myself, I like the yachting. I like the sails, so I like the yachting fellowship. And there's a couple of other ones there too. So if you want to get gung ho. Sorry, go ahead.
I belong to the genealogist fellowship group.
Oh, fantastic! How is that?
It's great, and they meet once a quarter and have a speaker.
Oh, there you go. Most of these will have a nominal cost to join because it requires some administration. And then, but on your myrotary.org account, you can explore all of these fellowships. And then the next slide. One of the things I wanted to mention was that it's a little more hardcore, but those Rotary action groups are also there. It's not just about fellowships. Fellowships is kind of, your own time. It's an interest of yours, but that there are Rotary action groups for each of those areas of focus and more. And this is the Rotary action groups are a little bit more of a deep dive into some serious issues that we roll up our sleeves on. And I would encourage you to look at the list of the action groups if you want to get involved as well. We don't, as far as I know, we don't have a lot of people who are involved in our district with regards to the action groups, but I'm hoping, as I move towards my year as DG, to change that.
So we're getting
over to you for the breakout.
close to the end of our hour here. So why don't we just do a quick little wrap around the room here about a key takeaway from the second half of our presentation. So Randy, you're first on my screen. Anything that popped out to you that of interest for you?
Sorry, I was muted. Yes, I'm the chair of our Rotary Foundation committee in our club, and I find it fascinating. My wife and I support the Rotary Foundation anyway. We've done that for years. But I'm always amazed at the work that the foundation does. And our club takes advantage of the district grants every year. So it's been, foundation has been really an integral part of our club.
Sarah, you're up next in my screen. Give me a key takeaway from what you've seen from here tonight.
Well, I'll look forward to hearing what Dave brings to the talking about the action groups, because that's one area of Rotary I really know nothing about.
All right, Joanne, what about you? Well, give me a key takeaway from something we talked about tonight.
I think the idea of using the fellowships as speakers was something I've never thought of before. It's kind of a good way to explore all the different avenues of Rotary. I like that.
Nice, good point. Diane Gary. Once you're off mute.
I actually have a question. Okay, so interesting how what a good group of people you have working on public imaging and marketing, so everything's uniform. Sherry and I were just talking today, like, do they have people who can help you? We were talking about how we want a QR code when we do an event in the middle of our town. Like, is there, Sherry, do you like have any idea how to do that? Or is there someone there that can go, oh, it's easy, here's what you do?
Oh yeah, doing a QR code is easy. It's putting the website page up that I'm concerned about. So I sent an email off to Melissa Wells.
See,
Yeah,
I
Melissa
have no
Wells.
questions. My president is on it. Okay, thank you. Very informative.
Hey, Vicky, how about you? Anything you've taken away from here?
Yeah, I'm actually learning a lot being newer. I'm interested in the fellowships. I want to look into that once I get signed on, and the action groups too. I found that very interesting. So you can really target your interests. That really fascinates me.
Very good. Do we lose Sheila down in Dunkirk?
I'm here. For some reason, my phone went into driving mode. I took away that I'm very interested in that fall, I guess it's leadership training.
Okay, it's either the RLI.
Yes.
Is that right, David?
Yep.
That's a great way to really get a deep dive into Rotary. I think anybody who's taking it will really appreciate that. So
The RLI sessions will be listed on the events page at the district level.
Great. I'll keep my eye out. Thank you.
super. Let's see here. So take some steps here. From this point now, we've got a little bit of a very surface present.
So don't forget Michelle Pratt. She's
Oh.
on here too.
Michelle,
And
I
I'd
didn't
like to
see
hear what
you,
she-
Michelle. You're hiding there.
Are
No,
you?
I'm here. I'm here. Everything's kind of brand new since I'm a whole week into this.
Yep.
So what I thought was really interesting and I think helpful is knowing that there's those subgroups because I'm going to be part of doing the next couple of meetings. So I thought it would be good to have some resources to choose from.
She's
Perfect.
part of our pod, giving the next 3 months worth of, we're kind of overseeing the meetings. Michelle's in our group.
What about Michael or Ursula?
I just learned about the fellowships at the last Zoom meeting. I haven't really started exploring those, but I like the leadership training. I think that's phenomenal, and I really like the inclusivity. I know it's going back to something we were talking about earlier, but the LGBTQ, and I think that's awesome.
Michael, you're up. What's one key takeaway from what you've heard tonight?
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing. I think the requirement for 20 members in the first presentation and on the second one, the fact that we have so many training sessions online, it's great to know. So on the website, I didn't know we had so many opportunities to learn. So I think this is something that I'm gonna take away and go off and learn from what is online.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, well, now that you've had you expanded your basic knowledge of Rotary. So here are some better ways of getting a deeper dive that will enhance your Rotary experience. As David talked about before, first thing you should maybe do is get onto the myrotary.org website, sign yourself up and look around, explore a little bit of that website. You're gonna find a lot of things that are available to you right at your fingertips. Visit the RI Learning Center. Of course, that's right on the myrotary.org. And take a course, watch the videos. You'll learn a lot very quickly. Don't forget about our own district website, rotary7090.org. You're going to learn about everything that's going on locally in the district, events that we are doing, either training, webinars. You might find out what other clubs are doing that are right by you that you can help out with. David, he's part of the RLI leadership team over there. Sign up. He'd be happy to see you. Come to one of our sessions and learn more about Rotary in RLI. Attend a district conference. This is last couple of years been kind of difficult through the pandemic. We've done things virtually, but slowly but surely we will be getting district conferences in person again. And rest assured that when I'm district governor in 23, 24, we will be having one in person. There'll be plenty of fellowship, and that's a fun thing to do. Not only do you learn more about Rotary, but you learn about what everybody else is doing in your district, and you meet a lot of new people. We like that. The creme de la creme of Rotary Fellowship, of course, is at the International Convention. This week it's in Houston. We have, I think, Vicki, you should know that Aaron Carlson from your club is down there, I believe. Our district governor-elect, Lisa Bishop, is there, and I think Deanne Birmingham is there as well. Next year it's in Melbourne, Australia. I can't wait to go. And if you're looking for some Rotary gear and swag, Russell Hampton, there's some other places, Best Club Supplies. I think there's a couple of other ones I'm probably missing there, but there's plenty of places to get your Rotary swag as well. But the idea is to go ahead and we're trying to enliven your Rotary experience, make it more impactful, making you, allowing you to have a bigger difference in your community. So I'm happy that everybody came tonight to hear about Rotary 101. What you do from here is up to you. So take the bull by the horns and learn more about Rotary. Dave, any final parting words that you want to add to this?
No, I think that was a great summary, Scott. I just encourage you to sign up for myrotary.org, explore the fellowships, create a short list, test the waters. The Rotary Action Group probably would be a bit more homework to find out where your passions lie there. But again, they're all listed online. And then you can sign up, peruse the district website and how it's organized. Just check on the events on a regular basis and see what your opportunities are there.
Any questions from anybody? We ran a little bit over time. I apologize, but I appreciate everybody coming tonight and learning a little bit more about Rotary. And we hope to see you at some upcoming events, district changeover events, either in person in Thorold or the virtual experience on the 27th. I'll expect to see y'all there. And anything else? Anybody? Any other comments?
How do we get the presentation from Dave? The slides.
Oh, the slides that we covered tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we can arrange to have them posted on the district website. I guess we could also distribute them to everybody who was in attendance tonight.
What we'll do is if you signed up through this, I'll have them distributed. Penny Hutton, our secretary, will get them all distributed out for you, okay? How's that?
Sounds good.
Perfect, perfect.
And tonight it's being recorded, so there'll be, the recording will be posted online too. And I'm going to stop recording now.
There you go. Well, thank you, everyone. Everybody have